Welcome y'all, Wes DIY Food Plot Pro. We're getting ready to hang some cameras today, and I have bought a bunch of cell cameras that I've been trying out for reviews for you guys. And the next one on the list is the WiseEye Mini Cell Cam. So if you're not familiar with the WiseEye Minis, they're a cell camera that is supposed to have some form of artificial intelligence to tell you when a deer or something walks in front of your camera. It's going to tell you whether it's a deer, whether it's an antlered deer, whether it's a non-antlered deer, whether it's a predator, whether it's a person, a vehicle. I did try these capabilities out on my two cameras that I bought, and I'm excited to share those results with you in this video. So when I first opened the box of the WiseEye Mini, I bought two of them. I was impressed with the quality. It's a good quality camera that I would expect to last for many years. It's not made cheaply, not a junky camera at all. I expect to get many years out of these cameras. The price point is about $150 per camera is what I got them for. Pretty reasonably priced in that sweet spot range where you know you're getting some quality, but it's not nearly at the top of the range either. For the data plan on this one, I went with the Weekend Warrior that gives you the basic plan was $15 per month. Each camera that you add after that is an additional $10. So for two cameras, I'm roughly using about 150 megabytes per month. Important to note that I'm not on corn piles. I'm not on mineral licks. Those are illegal in my area, so I'm not on those. I'm on food plots. I'm on white oak hollers, corners of ag fields. Those are the kind of areas that my cameras are set in. I have not had much issue at all going over that megabytes per month. I suspect if you're on a corn pile, as we used to be able to around here, you would push that note a little bit higher with a lot more volume of pictures that you're getting over those bait piles. The first thing that I realize on the WiseEye Minis is it has a quick trigger speed. Probably the quickest of any cell cam that I've noticed that I've been around. It's going to take quicker pictures than what any other ones that I've run. I do like that part of it. The picture quality is pretty average for the industry, just a good solid picture. I think the technology where it's telling you what's there, if you're not familiar with the WiseEyes, what it's all about is being able to pattern a buck. What's supposed to happen is you put this somewhere that you've got a regular buck that you're targeting or a doe coming in, gets a picture of it, it sends it to you, you label it, say as the Big 12. Okay, so the Big 12, you label it. He shows up the next night, you label the Big 12 again, and you continue labeling the Big 12 every time he shows up. Then you can dive into your analytics and you can see when that deer is showing up at your spot. Really neat technology in my opinion. If you're able to dive into those analytics, you might notice that that deer's coming when on south wind days, temperatures are a certain degree, you've got a certain wind, a certain barometric pressure, that deer is more liable to show up at your spot because you've patterned him. And I'm just more running traffic, so I've not been able to use that technology where I'm at. is I've just got piles and piles of deer that are just kind of going back and forth. It's really difficult for me where I've got my wise eyes at to say, okay, that's the 7, that's the 9, that's the 10. It's really difficult for me to be able to ID those deer to let this technology work. But if you had a smaller deer herd than what we had, or if you had some way of getting those deer in closer, a bait pile, a mineral lick, where you could positively ID those deer, I think this is a really, really, really neat technology that could be super beneficial to a lot of hunters when targeting a specific deer. Also going to let you know if there's an antlered animal that shows up in front of your camera, you'll get a picture that says antlered animal. If it's a doe, it'll say non-antlered. And that's been accurate, I'm gonna say about 75% of the time. If the deer is right in front of the camera, I'd say within 10, 12 feet, it's gonna be extremely accurate. If they are 30, 40, 50 yards off, it's not gonna be nearly as accurate. Now, mine is in a standing cornfield, so there's lots of things kind of standing up there. So I put that to the max test. I think if you had out, like say we're in a clover field, an alfalfa field, something like that, where there wasn't things sticking up next to that deer, it might have an easier time picking out whether it's an antlered animal or not. It also is going to alert you with predators, which it does a pretty good job of the predators from what I've seen personally. And then people, it's going to nail people almost every time, or a vehicle. So when I was setting mine up, I pulled my Ranger in front of the camera, and it sends me a picture instantly. It says vehicle at your camera. I was able to look at that and look and ID that it was my Ranger. I walked in front of the camera, it then sends me another one. It says people at your camera. I think it's a really neat kind of technology that we're kind of diving into. I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. One thing to mention on the WiseEye Mini is there's no black flash offered. I'm assuming it's the red flash cameras, which for my deer, I've got farms where it bothers them, the red flash. I've got farms where it doesn't bother them. I wanted to get a true test on this WiseEye to see how it would do. So I chose to put that on a farm where I knew the whitetails typically don't have a negative reaction to the red flash, and I haven't had any issues with that farm. As I've mentioned in some of my videos before, I have certain farms where deer absolutely hate a red flash camera and they will spook off those cameras. Other farms, like the one that it's on, typically have zero trouble with red flash cameras. So in conclusion, I like these cameras over a bait pile, over a food plot, or over a trail with its quick trigger speed. I like this camera. I would definitely be game to adding more of these WiseEyes to my arsenal of cell cameras that I already have. I would really love to see WiseEye come out with a black flash. That would be, to me, that would really be super handy and super useful, and I expect they'll likely do that in the future. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, smash that like and subscribe button.